Hi guys, if you're not following Sam Fowles on social media, you really should be. Sam is a barrister who has been invited onto a number of different outlets to provide his expertise on different issues. But from time to time, he talks politics. So he gave a pretty good assessment of the state of the frontrunners for the Conservative Party at the moment, describing both Robert Jenrick and Kemi Badenoch as living in a fantasy land, with a flavour of far-right conspiracy theory thrown in. Have a listen to this.
Yeah, I think Suella endorsing Robert Jenrick, it's a bit like Voldemort endorsing Sauron, who's running against Thanos. These are two people running to be, arguably pitching themselves as the next Prime Minister. One of them lives in a complete fantasy land. Kemi Badenoch spent a week or so last year running around claiming that children were identifying as cats in school. Children identifying as cats, again, came from the far right in the United States and again was without evidence. Robert Jenrick, on the other hand, is claiming we should leave the European Convention on Human Rights in order to promote freedom. He wants to promote everyone's freedom by taking away their fundamental rights. So
no, well, he would say, no, I don't want to do that. I want to have a British Bill of Rights rather than the similar rights to in the ECHR can easily be made into a British Act.
Well, no, they can't, because the Parliament can make any law and remove any rights that it wants. So when he's saying, we'll have a British Bill of Rights, what he's saying is, hello, little citizens, I will grant, as Prime Minister, I will use my parliamentary majority to grant you the rights that I may then take away as soon as I want them.
That's up to voters to decide whether they want to vote for that.
But I mean, it's also an incredible assault on freedom, and it's an assault on what was achieved by the Conservative Party after Nuremberg and by Winston Churchill, by the great conservative lawyers that existed before that. So you've got two candidates who are so far to the right of the political spectrum that their entire debate has sort of been in the fantasy land of American far-right conspiracy theory.
Well said. I've been saying this for so long. The Conservatives have been trying over the last number of years to tap into this populism they have experienced in the US. They've seen how people like Donald Trump have been able to weaponize not just division, but certain issues. Like, for example, if you travel around Europe and you ask people, have they ever heard of woke? They won't know what you're talking about. But it seems to be something limited, basically, to the UK and the US. And of course, where did it come from? It came from the US. It's been imported from the US and used as a tool, weaponized by the far right in the Conservative Party, saying everything is woke and we need to stop woke, and they can't define it. I can't find anyone yet to actually define what woke is, but they just don't like it. And they're able to convince the public that you need to vote for them because they're going to stop it, whatever it is. They can't define it, but they don't like it. Other things that they've tried to import from the US as well is, for example, this idea of voter fraud. Remember the Conservatives saying we need to introduce new legislation to stop voter fraud. This is something that the US Republicans have been pushing really hard over the last number of years. They don't win the popular vote, so what they do is they try and suppress the vote as much as possible, throw as many obstacles in the way of voters, especially poor and minority voters, because they're more likely to vote for the Democrats, put as many obstacles in their way as possible, and claim that there's a massive amount of voter fraud, when in reality it's almost nothing. Is there voter fraud? Yes, there is, but it's not in any significant way. And of course, the Tories try to use that as well to punish who? Well, to punish young people, to punish people who generally will not vote for the Conservatives. So in order to win power, they have to play these dirty tricks. And Robert Jenrick and Kemi Badenoch are tapping into that as well. Kemi Badenoch in particular, when she starts talking about, we need to take wokeness out of universities and we need to stop woke spreading into the civil service and we can't get anything done because of wokeness. Robert Jenrick instead just wants to take away people's freedoms. The Republicans, of course, in the US, famous for suppressing people's freedoms while at the same time pretending to care about people's freedoms. Robert Jenrick is trying to do the same with leaving the European Convention on Human Rights. Don't worry, as Sam has said, don't worry, little citizens, I will look after your rights. Would anyone with a functioning brain trust Robert Jenrick with their rights? Of course not. It's not about protecting rights, it's about taking them away. So both candidates are really far out there, but they're tapping into something that they've seen works pretty well in the US and hoping they can emulate it in Britain too. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.